Chris Jericho has been with the WWE for many years now, and the veteran is tougher than you may think. You dig? Jericho was involved in a backstage brawl with no other than Bill Goldberg. Yes, the same guy who was an undefeated streak of 173 wins back in the WCW. Speaking of WCW, it was at this time when Jericho and Goldberg were involved in a backstage fight. It all started when Goldberg, who was the top star of the WCW at the time, did not like the idea of doing a program with Jericho. Jericho then asked him politely to come into the hallway to have a private chat. However, Goldberg didn't seem very fond of the idea, so he grabbed Jericho by the throat in a furious rage, which immediately caused Jericho to wrestle Goldberg to the ground before applying a front-face lock. Goldberg could do nothing as Jericho choked him out on the floor in front of everybody.
You better watch it.
Watch what?
It.
Cara, not Mystico, the one who forced his match to stop for breaking his finger, but Unico, the one who currently portrays the character Cara. He has actually got involved in multiple backstage fights, most recently involving Simon Gotch of the Vaudevillains. During the SmackDown Live draft show, Cara flipped out and threw an unopened soda can right into Gotch's face, which caused him to have a black eye. Guess you could say he got him, I suppose. In another instance, Cara had a problem with Drew McIntyre, not shaking hands with other wrestlers, and only just the bigger top-tier guys. The last but most impressive altercation involved pinning down Sheamus in the trainer's area. Cara, who was lying on a bed at the time, was approached by Sheamus, who told Cara to get off the bed, as he claimed he was more important than him. Cara did not take the comment lightly, and got up to confront Sheamus. Sheamus then threw the first punch, but Cara had anticipated the punch, and has his legs swept before getting punched straight after. It's no surprise seeing Brock Lesnar on this list, as he is a legitimately tough guy in real life. I mean, just look at his face. If you saw him in a dark alley at night, you would literally have no hope of making it out alive. There are two incidents that Lesnar has been involved in which showcase his dominance, the first being with Mr. Perfect. Lesnar and Mr. Perfect were having a conversation about amateur wrestling on a plane, when things started to become a bit more heated. Mr. Perfect, who was drunk at the time, challenged Lesnar, insisting he was better amateur wrestling. Brock, however, did not take this too kindly and started driving Mr. Perfect towards the plane door. This eventually costed Mr. Perfect his job. The second incident actually involved Ryback. The two big guys had an argument, which caused Brock to throw Ryback to the floor before landing 3 punches to his face. Ryback suffered a laceration above his left eyebrow, which required stitches. The Undertaker is often regarded as the leader of the locker room, and that is for a good reason. The highly respected veteran is actually trained in MMA and has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In Kurt Angle's biography, he actually recalls a story involving himself and The Undertaker during a plane ride to Europe. Angle and McMahon were playing a game, where they would take the other man down by surprise. Vince, who had already at the time scored a takedown on Angle, then came under attack from Angle, who wanted to get even. A sleeping Undertaker then awoke from all the commotion to witness his boss being tackled to the ground by Angle. This immediately caused the Undertaker to jump on Kurt Angle and apply a chokehold, which was seconds away from putting him to sleep. Just a quick warning to you all, if you happen to see a sleeping Undertaker, just leave him the f*** alone. Okay? Let him get some sleep. He needs his beauty sleep, alright? Haku is often regarded as the toughest professional wrestler, and for a good reason. He was known for biting someone's nose off, popping a fellow wrestler's eyeball out of his socket, and generally knocking people out. Everyone in the locker room fears him, and even WWE.com states that Haku has a reputation of being perhaps the toughest man to step into the ring. Just the mention of his name would send a chill up the spine of his foes, and some of his friends too. Also, during a shoot interview, Jake the Snake Roberts said, "If I had a gun and was sitting inside a tank with one shell left and Meng is 300 yards away, he's mine, right? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is jump out of the tank and shoot myself, because I don't want to wound that son of a bitch and have him pissed off at me." His most famous incident was at Baltimore Airport, where 5 guys came up to Haku claiming wrestling was fake. Haku knocked out 3 men by slapping them, and applied the Tonga death grip and bit off the nose of the man who instigated the whole thing. The WWE was sued $2.5 million for the incident.